Ever since I started watching Mushishi, my mind has been able to come up with a cohesive narrative of events. A slow-paced arc, conveying a non-linear, at times cyclical, succession of thoughts and feelings. Starting in June last year, finishing right before Christmas, even though the very sense of starting and or finishing doesn't quite apply in this case. The way I see it, things were already happening before I start, and will continue to do so after this so-called conclusion. Of course, I'm talking about the series itself, but also, or even mainly, about my own storyline. Mushishi depicts a world at its peak and shows no interest in stating where or when everything takes place. Pretty much like our real life, its mythology goes way back, beyond where the eyes can see. It's almost as if the viewer is allowed to view it. A window for a brief moment in time is open, and what you get is a breathing universe, the chance of witnessing a few stories that are just there. With or without your viewing and your curiosity, they would still be there. Mushishi gives me this impression that what I'm watching is completely unassociated with my position of a spectator. Ginko lives his life no matter what the viewer thinks of it. It's his life, it exists. Ginko himself exists. As the stories are being told, Mushishi constructs its scenery very slowly, using quiet music and very light colors, inviting you to belong to a greater story. A mysterious photography, silent ambience, reticent tales and dense characters. Although it only gives you fragments, at the same time, it instigates your imagination. Watching Mushishi requires a certain mood, a certain mindset. Your feelings must get in sync with the flow of it. And why was it such a deep personal experience for me? Well, it took me 6 months to watch the whole series, around 50 episodes, including OVAs and specials. Throughout that time, I trained and worked basically 7 days a week, up until the point where I'm at now. That period is over, and so is the obsessive training and working period. Mushishi and I walked right beside each other across time, and that makes me think about the very properties of what a storytelling is. An amount of factors and conditions permeating through the structure of our day-to-day lives as we perceive it, or the music and the colors of a routine, your daily habits, your ordinary train of thoughts, the linearity of your emotions, your ups and downs, an ascending curve straight from the mud leading to a whimsical climax, immediately lost in time, and then the next chapter, varying in its aspects, but following the same constitution, a never-ending story. The real artistry behind Ginko's life is the fact that he is a wanderer. There isn't a single physical element keeping track of time around him. Calendars, notebooks, clocks, nothing. His existence isn't tied up by words or numbers. His pores and veins are kept open. He follows only the wind, and lives only according to the seasons. By doing so, Mushishi suggests a subtle image, a spiral narrative, mixed events of a plot, composing a broader and more complex strain of storytelling. As I said before, no starting point, no ending point, just life itself, occurring, happening, being. To watch Mushishi is to observe your own story, in front of your eyes. Mushishi is a déjà vu, a shiver.